If you struggle with shyness or social anxiety, check out our free No BS training course with actual useful advice you can do from home. None of that just get out there nonsense. The link is in the description below. For now, let's get to today's question.
The question, how can a person with major social anxiety and depression gain confidence again? Answer by Joel Chavarria. Start where you are. I know that you asked how to gain confidence, but I feel it may be a more effective method to learn to be okay before trying to be confident. It is really hard to be confident if you're not okay in your own skin and your own mind. I don't assume to know how you feel exactly, but Eva also struggled through depression and debilitating social anxiety for the past 13 years. The last 2 years have been a journey into healthy, constructive healing methods. Yes, it is possible to find methods of confidence while depressed or with social anxiety, and those are, in my experience, surface level and short-lived, which may cause a relapse into the old depressive/anxious state. I've been there many times. To start, my suggestion is learn to be okay within yourself. Then confidence will be layered onto that foundation. Here's one way to start. Be around people in a non-social atmosphere. If you're a human who's old enough to use a smartphone, you've probably been around people in a non-social atmosphere before, lecture hall, department store, etc. So how will this help? The difference with trying this approach now is the intention you carry into it. Being okay around people that I did not intend to talk to was a great way for me to minimize the aversion I felt toward other humans. Whether it was on a bus or at a gym, learning to expand my comfort zone to include other humans was a big primary step for me. That's the intention, to learn to be comfortable with slight discomfort. Start very small and increase difficulty/discomfort level with time. This is a very rough overview of the cognitive behavioral therapy approach, exposure therapy. Source, myself. I participated in CBT programs for a cumulative total of 10 months at ages 17 and 25. Explore what mechanisms keep you in the patterns of social anxiety plus depression. An endless amount of childhood conditioning, past trauma, and unsolved issues compound to create mental afflictions like depression and social anxiety. And the most important thing you can do for yourself in life is to learn why you do the things you do. This is done by learning to have an inquisitive mind. That takes time to build sometimes. In my case, whenever anything bad happened, I'd chalk it up to, that's just my luck or I'm no good at X or of course that happened. I always mess that up or am no good with socializing/having fun/etc. You get the point. It revert to an old tendency I knew that I had and then close the case. There was no room for discussion or exploration. To explore the mechanisms behind depression and anxiety, those default explanations can't be the end-all. They must be questioned. They must be taken apart. One example from my case, why am I bad at socializing? What does bad mean? Does it mean there's a good or right way to socialize? To take a step back, socializing with people means being seen and heard. How do I feel about being seen and heard? Do I hate it and avoid it like the plague? Where does that come from? And then when I started seeing a psychotherapist, I was encouraged to inquire deeper. Was I conditioned to be neither seen nor heard? Am I recreating patterns from childhood? Is it possible to resolve those issues within myself to create a more secure space to be myself in the present day? This is where I highly suggest finding a qualified, licensed therapist to help guide you on this lifelong journey of creating a healthy mental space to exist in, and so on. Be kind to yourself. It's important to try to avoid being judgmental during these processes. If you try your luck at expanding your comfort zone and your anxiety flares up real bad, acknowledge the feelings and try again. These things take time, and be mindful of how you phrase your questions. If you ask why do I suck so bad? It won't be very helpful to your cause. Trust me, Eva asked those types of questions more times than I could count. And I know they just keep the depression fish alive and kicking. Note, I've mentally transfigured depression into a fish and not a monster because fish aren't scary. They're just fish. Also, they cannot kick. And being kind, patient and forgiving with yourself is a real piece of advice, backed by empirical data. Studies show that self-compassion is more important than self-esteem in acquiring a new skill, sticking to a diet/workout regimen, i.e., reaching success. Google it. This is a very rough overview of the psychotherapy approach. Source, myself. I've been undergoing psychotherapy for 14 consecutive months. This step is the core of the process of being okay with oneself. It'll end with a story. In my case, when I did CBT for 6 months straight and learned to talk to strangers and get a new job in face-to-face fundraising and expand my social circles and do job interviews and speed dating for the sake of it, I still had a huge mental block between myself and others. I still put up palpable walls. As I explained this to my therapist a year later, we found that I had a deeply held belief that I'm a poisonous presence. And Eva carried that for years. So of course there was a block between me and others. I felt that I was poison. What good would CBT do if I held that belief? What good would talking to 5 or 1,000 new people do, if I felt that all I was doing was spreading my perceived poison? Now that Eva found this and other limiting beliefs, self-defeating values and habits, Eva worked for years to release and replace them. That's the next process. And I feel less resistance inside myself when I meet new people or try an intimidating task. Try these 2 loose methods with self-compassion and see what comes up. And feel free to reach out to me and your fellow Corans for help. Disclaimer: I don't speak from the point of view of a clinician, but this is what helped me work through both those conditions in the beginning. Note: I still battle with both of these conditions on occasion even though I work in direct sales, teach yoga, and perform music professionally, without the aid of alcohol or drugs, free from addictive tendencies since 2015. Answer by Jeff O'Shiel. Set realistic and tangible goals. One of the fastest way to gain confidence is to accomplish something challenging. Overcome a difficult obstacle. Solving a potential problem. But the problem behind this, many people set the standards way too damn high. X. I want to write a book and publish it. Way too common on Quora. X. I want to have a group of close friends. X. I want to be overcome depression/anxiety. These are all great ideal goals, but they all have something that's way too common. They are too broad, too big, almost too impossible to achieve. Instead of coming up with these types of goals, think of smaller objectives that will lead up to that grand goal. X. Mission: I want to finish writing a chapter by the end of this week. X. Mission: I want to have a deep conversation to at least one person by Friday. X. Mission: I want to get out of bed and go exercise today for 30 minutes. I want to stop having unrealistic thoughts for this entire week. More attainable? Yes. Challenging? Definitely. Since everyone is different, you have to set personal goals that applies towards you. There's no need to compare to others. Only to yourself, the past you. Research shows that by setting concrete goals you feel like you can achieve, you are more likely to do them. Once you work for something and you achieve it, that's where confidence starts to blossom. Then, that leads to more confidence and motivation, which makes you want to do these goals more, which increases even more confidence. It's a positive two-way street. Answer by Akash Chawla. Social anxiety to come from social behavior. Actually, you learn from 5 sense and 6th sense is dead. So all the people comes in social anxiety and mental disease. 6th sense is your concentration, which is not active actually, so you have wasteless thing in mind. For example, if you are Hindu and you will see the video that Hindu is beating a Muslim person, your hurt will feel cool. In opposite, if Muslims is beating to Hindu badly, you will come in aggressions. Because you don't have 6th sense when it is declared that we know that we don't know how the first come on earth, then it is wasteless to think that you are Hindu or Muslim. Both are different because of culture, incarnation and because of food. But if your 6th sense will work, you will not come in cool mode or in aggressions mode because of video. You will come in as thoughts that both are uncultured. Same, your cells have knowledge from 5 sense, so they describe you wrong knowledge when you come in social for behavior. One day Kabirji asked for people that why you loud in temple or masjid. Are your God is deaf? People comes in aggressions that he is talking about the God. Actually, he is not talking about God, he is talking about people that you don't have a normal sense that it makes no difference that you are loud or not. You all just show your influence in other society. Same social behavior is education and you are weak in this education. Same in every education, you can improve your education. All problem will automatically finish. Your mind is not observing properly words, impression of face etc. This is not big issue, you just need knowledge. You believe that when you listen to words and you are manipulating correct, actually your mind that portion is not mature who deals in behavior. Same on Quora, our condition is like you. People want to say something, we understand something, some are coming in aggressions, some comes in anxiety, some leave to read on quota, some leave to write on Quora. When we write and read on social behavior, Our mind accepts accordingly to his capabilities. You need improvement in your capabilities when you come in behavior. Israel is covered by 7 countries, so only his intelligente can manage. Same aggressions can cover by intelligente and anxiety can manage by knowledge. Thanks.